Naya back again. So today's video, we are going to get into a series. I'm going to have playlists. I'm going to have a playlist for my reactions. That's mainly what I'm going to be doing, but I'm doing something new. Other playlists, we're going to do a series called Real Talk with Naya. Now, these are going to be topics, advice, tips, all of those things. So share with me on some videos y'all want to hear like the raw truth, because nowadays I feel like we don't have enough people telling the truth. People just want to produce content where people want to hear, but I really want to help people. I really want y'all to succeed. I don't know y'all, but I really do love helping people, and this is really something that I'm passionate about. So check out my playlist. I'm gonna create two right now. My Naya Reacts main content, and then I'm also gonna have one called Real Talk with Naya. So for this video, this is for all of my single ladies, not just my single ladies, but my single moms, okay? Make something for y'all because I can relate to this, and I wanted to provide you all with some realistic tips. Now, this is just gonna be an overview. It's not going to be specific. If y'all want me to get specific, I'll do a part 2 of like some really practical things, but this one is just gonna be like an overview. So these are 7 tips for single moms who are dating to successfully date. 7 tips for single moms to successfully date. Okay? So let's start with the first one. The first one is so important, and that is to be healed. Now, I want to say this, whatever your situation is, some of y'all were in a relationship with your baby father and things didn't work out. Some of y'all were never in a relationship with your baby daddy. So, you know, you're trying to co-parent, or I don't know what the relationship is like with you and the father. Some of y'all have been married and divorced. Whatever the scenario is, I really stress that you need to be healed, because entering into a relationship and entering into the dating scene nowadays, y'all, it's vicious, okay? Some of these guys are literally just dating just to date. Some of them, they don't have an agenda of marrying. They don't have an agenda of taking women serious. Some of these men just want to figure out how many women that they can sleep with. And in order for you to be able to go into the dating scene with a laser focus and to be able to literally pick out the ones who are serious and the ones that are not, you have to do the internal work. You have to be healed, because the only way that you're going to be able to succeed in the dating scene is to be healed. So that means reconciling that relationship with your baby's father, reconciling that relationship with your ex-husband, whatever the case is, your ex-boyfriend, reconcile that relationship. I'm not saying that y'all have to be best friends. I'm not saying that y'all have to be close and share everything with each other. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying, you need to be so healed to the point where you both can have a healthy co-parenting relationship, okay? I'm so sick and tired of seeing, I'm being real with y'all, I'm so sick and tired of seeing baby mamas, whoever, these single moms out here dangling their child in front of the baby daddy to get money. Like, it's ridiculous. Some of y'all are so bitter. I told y'all this is gonna be real talk, okay? So if you're in your feelings, you might want to take a break, get yourself together, and come back. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Y'all need to stop doing that. Stop using your child as a way to get back at your ex-husband or your ex-boyfriend or your baby daddy. It's ridiculous, okay? The child did not ask to be put in this world, okay? The child does not deserve that. The child deserves both parents in their lives, okay? So ladies, forgive, forget, move on, focus on the child. It did not work between you and the dad, move on. Because guess what? If you don't reconcile that relationship, the next man who comes into your life, he's going to realize that. And any good man, he's not going to want to be in a relationship with a woman who does not have a good relationship with the baby daddy. Again, a good man, because that's going to show how you handle conflict. And that's very important in a relationship. So ladies, heal. I know you're like, well, you don't understand. Trust me. I may not understand your specific situation, but I understand how it doesn't work out. But you cannot be bitter. You have to move on. Let that man move on too. If he has a new wife, if he has a new girlfriend, let him live his life. Again, it's not about you and him anymore. It's about the child. So be healed, number one. Number two, bring value. Okay? And when I say this, I mean I'm not saying you have to be 100% the total package, but you need to work on yourself so much that when you enter into a relationship or you're enter into the dating scene, you're able to express and show like, hey, dating me is going to be an experience. Okay, I don't just bring my looks, I don't just bring what you see, but I can bring other things to the table. Because I'm so sick of y'all saying, oh, I don't bring nothing to the table. Like, some of y'all need to think like, and your son was trying to pick the best suitable woman for him, and the girl says, oh, I bring nothing to the table. How would y'all feel about that? Like, realistically, think about that when next time y'all say stuff like that, because you have to be able to bring something to the table. You have to have some sort of niche or skill that you can enhance not just your husband, but the whole household. Like for me, I'm great with organization. I'm great with, you know, bringing the pieces together and bringing people together and keeping things organized and clean and cooking. Like those are some of the skills that I know that I can bring to the table. Not just the way that I look, okay? Because there are so many women in this world that look great, okay? But as a single mom, you have to be able to bring extra to the table because of your child. And I know that it's kind of hard to digest that, but that's the world that we live in right now. There are many men that will date women with children, but there are many men who will not date women with children. So keeping that in mind, you have to bring extra to the table. And I know for some of y'all it's like, what you mean? It's realistic. Okay, it's the world that we live in. I know for me, I'm like, you know, and I know you guys hear a lot of this red pill content and all of that. And I don't subscribe to all of it, but I do believe that there are a lot of truth to what these men are saying. And what they call high value men, most of them don't want women with children, depending on the situation. You know, if you are married and you have children, I think that's different to them, but whatever. Just be aware, be self-aware, because that's important too. Be self-aware, know what you're getting into the dating world, because it's vicious, honey. Okay, so bring value. Number 3, date as a single woman. Now, when I say date as a single woman, duh, you're not single. You have a child. You are single, but you have a child. But when I say that, go into dating with the mindset that he doesn't have to know that you have a child until you are ready to share that with him and you feel like y'all are serious. That's when you share that, because some men, ladies, I'm gonna be honest with you, they prey on single moms. If you don't know, it's true. Okay, I've heard this before. I've heard this from many men. So trust me when I say there are some men that really prey on single moms. To them, that you didn't value yourself enough. And this is not truth. I'm just telling you what other men think. They think that you don't value yourself enough to wait to have your child when you're married, or whatever the case is. Men see that as she's easy to get sex from. And you don't want that stigma to be placed on you. You want to enter into the dating scene as though you don't have children. I'm not saying hide your children from the man that you are dating, but wait until you know that this man is serious about you. And if he asks, yes, be honest. I'm not saying lie. Do not lie. I don't condone lying. But yes, date as a single woman. Your child, when you're dating, yes, they should be with a reliable babysitter. Do not leave your children at home when you go on dates, ladies. Like, that is ridiculous, okay? I don't care what age they are. If they're not teenagers and responsible enough to be at home by themselves, get a babysitter, get a family member to watch your child while you are dating. And if you can't, then you're not ready to date, okay? And that's just straight up. So date as a single woman. And then 4, I want to add this in there while it's in my brain. Y'all, before you date, you should be the best mom that you possibly can be. Some of y'all don't take care of your children. Some of y'all children don't take baths every night. Some of y'all children nails be all long, have dirt under their fingernails. Y'all don't brush their teeth at night. I'm being honest. And make sure that they have 3 meals a day, balanced meals. And I'm not talking about McDonald's every day. Now, I know how it is sometimes. You get busy and you be like trying to get the first thing that you can get. I get it. But every day, no. You should be cooking most of the time for your child or providing them with some nutritionally balanced meals. If you're not helping them with their homework, making sure that they do their homework. All of these things are priority before you step into dating, okay? For me, before I stepped into dating, I made sure that my child is taken care of, that his spiritual well-being is taken care of. I'm praying over him. We're doing Bible study. We're reading. Yes, all of these things y'all need to do before you step into dating. Now, some cases, you know, I'm not going to speak for everyone because everyone has their own situation. Sometimes a man is needed immediately to step into, you know, your situation. So I'm not speaking for all scenarios, but for the most part, ladies, y'all needs to be the best moms that y'all possibly can be before dating, okay? Because, again, it's not just about you. When you are introducing a new man into your child's life, once y'all get to that serious point, it's very serious, okay? And you need to have a routine so that when that person comes in, your child is not neglected and there's some structure in your household. And yeah, your child is number one. Until you have a ring on your finger, until you are a wife, your child is number one, okay? And y'all make sure y'all remember that. Your boyfriend is not number one. Your fiance is not number one. Your husband will be number one once y'all get to that point. But until then, your child is priority. Number 5, set realistic expectations. So when I say realistic expectations, I mean, some of y'all needs to stop with the he need to be 6 plus and y'all are like 5'5", 5'4". It's really ridiculous at this point. Like, it is ridiculous, and I'm so sick of hearing it because I'm 5'9" and a half, 5'10", and my standards are not that high. It used to be, but then I realized, like, men who are, and sorry, men over 6 plus, but men who are over 6 plus, they have so many options. They don't treat women the best. You know, I mean, once they're of an older age, maybe, but around my age, like, most of them suck. I'm just being honest with you. Most of them suck, and I didn't like the way I was treated by men who were, you know, 6 plus and up. I'm not generalizing. I'm just saying from my experience. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to be so rigid when it comes to that. And then I realized, like, the men who are my height and a little bit shorter, like, those are like some really good guys. And I don't want y'all to miss out on good guys just because of a height requirement, okay? So stop being shallow when it comes to that. Give guys a chance. Set realistic expectations. To be honest with you, character should be number one. Not his religion, not his faith. Character should be number one. I'm going to say that again. Character should be the number one aspect that you look for in a husband. Because nowadays, people who are Christian, because I'm Christian, so I can only speak on my belief, my faith. But some of these Christians have horrible character. I'm not saying all Christians. I have to add that because some of y'all will take that out of context and be like, oh, are you saying all Christians have bad character? No, I'm not saying that. I'm a Christian and I believe that I have pretty decent character. Not saying that. I know some great Christians who have excellent character. I'm not saying that. But for some, if not on the spectrum of most, some of these Christians don't have integrity. They don't know what perseverance and being tenacious is. Okay, so keep that in mind, ladies. Character should be number one, then all the other stuff, which should not be shallow things. I know some of us have our preferences, but yeah, just set realistic expectations. Okay, and don't just think about yourself. Think about your child. Think about what your child needs. So don't be selfish about your expectations, because guess what? You're going to marry this person, but also this is going to be someone that's going to be the leader of your household. So you want to make sure that this person is going to be able to lead your children. Okay. Okay. Number 6, have boundaries. This is very important. Okay. Some of the ones that come to mind as I'm saying this is, excuse me, men should not be coming in and out of your house. I don't care how much sex you want. I don't care how horny you are. Y'all shouldn't be doing that anyway. Off the rip. Okay? Men should not be coming in and out of your house, especially when you have children. That should be number one. Number 2, you should not be going over to his house. Y'all should just be going out on dates for the first couple of months. You know, and I'm not saying don't bring them over to your house, because if a man has good character, he knows how to be around your child, that's fine. But if you don't know him, y'all haven't had conversations, y'all don't know each other like that, you need to be very skeptical. Okay, y'all need to go on several dates before you bring him over to your house, because nowadays, especially if you're dating online, people pretend to be one thing, but then they're really something completely different. So just use wisdom, and not just physical boundaries, but also boundaries when it comes to just conversations and things like that. Y'all ladies, you should have a sense of mystery about you. Stop telling all your business when you meet a guy. I know some of us, we lonely. Some of us don't have friends like that. So when you're dating someone, that becomes your best friend, right? But you need to have a level of mystery. This man should not know everything about your last relationship. And if he is trying to figure it out, you tell him that you're not comfortable sharing that. And you have every right to say that, because it's not his business anyway. If he wants to know everything about you, tell him to do a background check on you. Okay. And that's the most information that you're going to give him until y'all are serious, until y'all are on that path to marriage. Okay. And if you don't know what boundaries are, do some reading. There's this book that my therapist told me to read when I first started therapy a few years ago, several years ago. And the book is called When to Say Yes, How to Say No, to Take Control of Your Life, Boundaries. And I'm going to put it somewhere here so y'all can see it, and then I'll also put it in the description. But get that book. That book will teach you so much about setting boundaries, not just for relationships, but for yourself as a whole, and how to avoid people who step over those boundaries. That's a whole nother story. But when you set boundaries, no one should cross over those boundaries. And if they do, run immediately. Don't overlook it. Don't be like, oh, they just da da da. Don't make excuses for them, because that is a huge red flag. You be polite about it. You say, you know what, this has been great, but I really feel like me and you were not there, and just keep on moving. Because honey, I'm telling you, you will save yourself some trouble. Okay, people who do not respect your boundaries, run for the hills. Okay. Number 7, again, pay attention to red flags. Ladies, if a person is showing you who they are, believe them the first time. Now, certain things, because when I say this, some of y'all take this literally and y'all don't have no type of discernment. Red flags are like things that are non-negotiable, and that should be a part of your expectations list. You should have what you expect, and then you also should have what you don't expect. Red flags. Red flags to me would be crossing my boundaries, not respecting my boundaries. Red flags for me would be lacking discipline. So the person don't work out, don't have a relationship with God, doesn't practice some level of consistency. That's a red flag for me, because if you don't have a certain level of discipline in your life, how am I going to follow you? How are you going to lead me and my family? You know, so that is a red flag. If he doesn't have a healthy relationship with his mom, red flag. Because if he doesn't have a healthy relationship with his mom, or any form of female or woman in his life, he's not going to respect you. So those are just examples of red flags for me. You have to know your red flags and stick with them. And if you're unsure of what red flags are, I would just say follow your intuition. You know, not just women. I believe that we all have intuition, but I think women, we listen to it more than men. But that voice deep within, this pit in your stomach, listen to that voice. Don't ignore it. Don't justify what's happening, because a lot of times we do that as ladies. We make excuses for men. We think that we can change them. We think that, oh, if I stick around, I'll show him. No, ma'am, you cannot change a man. What you see is what you get. He may change, but it may not be with you. And that's the hardest part for us. We think that we can change them, and we build them and do all of these things, but really the other person gets all of that. So yes. And then lastly, I think I touched on this, but don't introduce your child to the person that you're dating until y'all are in an exclusive relationship. And the reason why I say that is because you have to be considerate of your child's feelings. Children, they form bonds with people on a whole different level than we do, you know. And they're innocent, of course, but you got to remember that children, their brains are developing, you know, and they'll have memories of these things. For me, I remember things when I was 7, 6, 8 years old that kind of I brought into adulthood. So just be mindful of that. Not saying that you should not introduce your child to the person that you're with, but make sure that that person is serious. Make sure that this is the person that you can see yourself spending the rest of your life with. I know sometimes things don't work out, and I totally get it. But for the most part, be very careful about when and how you do it, because your child is going to form a bond with that person, and you don't want to be stuck in a relationship with someone just because you introduce them to your child. That's awful. Okay, you will be miserable in that relationship. You want to be with that person genuinely because you love them and you can't see yourself being with anyone else. So just keep that in mind. All right, y'all. Well, that is enough for today with Real Talk with Naya. Again, I have 2 separate playlists right now, so just keep an eye out on those. And if you're new here, just click one of those, whatever you want to hear. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.